In this video, we'll talk about types of functions and their graphs. Basically, for each function of those functions, constant function, linear function, and so on, each function has its own way to represent its graph. So first function is constant function, which is given by f of x is equal to a. A can be any number, -1, 0, 1. We'll see that with the desmos. So this website, we'll use this website to represent our graphs. I'll put the link of this website also in the description of this video. So if we put f of x is equal to, if we put 0, we will have a horizontal line on x-axis, okay? If we put 2, you see have a horizontal line on y-axis, okay? If we put -2, you see you have a horizontal line on y-axis but on -2, okay? So this is a constant function. Second type is linear function. A linear function is given by f of x is equal to ax plus b. Note that a is r, means from -infinity to +infinity, okay? r except 0, meaning a can be any number except 0, because for example if we say f of x is equal to 0x plus 2, you see this is equal to 0 plus 2 and it is equal to 2. So this 2 is a constant function. That's why a has to be always a number, a real number but except 0, okay? So we can see that with the desmos. So if we take, for example, as we said, 0x plus 2, you see this is a constant function. 0 should not be here. You see now this is a linear function. This is the shape of a linear function. If we take x plus 2, you see the line comes from -infinity, it crosses -2 on x-axis, and it continues to +infinity, crossing 2 on y-axis, okay? So this is the linear function. Third type is quadratic function, which is given by f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c. So note that again, for the same reason, a is r except 0, meaning a can be any number except 0. But keep in mind, b and c can be 0. It is fine. For example, if we take f of x is equal to x squared plus 0x plus 0, so you get x to the power 2, and this is a quadratic function, but we cannot have 0 for a. So let's see that with the desmos. So we take x squared. So this is the shape of a quadratic function, okay? If we take, as we said, if we take plus 0 plus 0x plus 0, this changed nothing, you see? But if I put instead of x, I put 0 here, you see, and this is plus, for example, 0, you see we have a horizontal line. This is a constant function, you see? That's why always a has to be a number which is not equal to 0. So this is the shape of a quadratic function. Fourth type is a cubic function, which is given by f of x is equal to ax to the power 3 plus bx squared plus cx plus d. Again, a is r, or real numbers, except 0, for the same reason. So we go to desmos. So we take a x to the power 3. So this is the shape of a cubic function. If we take plus 8x to the power 3 plus 1, you see it cross minus 1 from here and 1 on y-axis, and it continues. So from minus infinity it continues to plus infinity. This is the shape of a cubic function. The function number 5 is radical function, which is given by f of x is equal to the square root of x. Note that x has to be greater or equal to 0. Mathematically, we cannot have the square root of a negative number. Okay, so we take the square root of x. Square root of x. You see, it starts from 0 to plus infinity. Okay, we don't have the part of negative. So this is the shape of a square root or radical function. So the function number 6 is, the type of the function is logarithmic function. It is given by f of x is equal to ln of x. Note that x has to be strictly greater than 0. We cannot have a 0 when ln of 0 is undefined. Okay, so if we take ln of x, you see this is the shape of our function. You see, if we zoom it here, it approaches to 0, but it never touches 0. Okay, so this is the logarithmic function. If we take, for example, 0, you'll see we don't have any curve because it is undefined. Or if we take minus 2, the same. Now the function number 7 is trigonometric function, which is given by f of x is equal to, it can be sine of x or cosine of x or tangent of x. Let's see it with desmos. We just take sine of x. You see, a sine of x is always given by this way. It comes from infinity, it crosses the origin, 0 on y-axis, 0 on x-axis, and it continues to infinity. It is always between this range, between 1 on y-axis and minus 1 on y-axis. Okay, now if we take, so keep in mind it crossed the origin. Okay, if we take cosine, you see cosine does not cross the origin. Okay, so cosine comes from infinity but pass from here, from 1 on y-axis, but it does not cross the origin, 0 on y-axis and 0 on x-axis. Now coming to tangent, so the shape of this function is always like that. Okay, and we can again sine, this is the shape of sine, and this is cosine. Now function number 8 is absolute value function. It is given by f of x is equal to the absolute value of x. So you can use this keyboard to draw the absolute value of x. So, okay. So you see, this is the shape of absolute value of x. Okay. Function number 9 is exponential function, which is given by f of x is equal to e to the power x. It can be changed. We can have numbers also. So you can do it here. We can have first e to the power x. This is changing exponentially, you see. Okay. Or if we take 2, you see. So this is the shape of the exponential function. Okay. Thank you for watching and hope to see you in the next video.